alive once again! Excellent! One moment whilst I share. I'm playing a different thing today. Yes, I would like to ping everyone on my server. It's my server, and that's why I have it. So I could relentlessly advertise like a shameless whore. Just slap around the links a little bit, and there we go. I think. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully things are not going awful. I was watching your earlier stream, but this seems more pertinent. Well, thank you. Okay. Instead of having my own, like, stockpile of Techno-Axe music, I am now doing a playlist that they have up, which is, like, just their 2016 EDM mix of insanity. Shit you not, that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it says. And all of this is hopefully copyright-free, so no shenanigans going on there. All is well in the house. In the house of fun, pain, stuff, things, reasons, whatever. If the music is too loud, I can adjust. Or if it's like, if you can't hear it at all, can also adjust, no big deal. Just gonna kind of vibe for a few seconds. Let some people get in here. Good lord. Alright, there we go. Alright. I think that is a bit on the loud side, so I'm going to lower it slightly. Hopefully it's not too agitating for you guys. Chilling. Okay. Just gonna relax, sip some coffee a little bit while some people filter in, hopefully. Don't mind me. So I haven't actually done anything since the last stream. I've just been kind of stewing on info that I have. Gonna pop over to this. Yeah, I've done basically nothing. I've added a couple of things, like this whole gear idea, and I'll address that in a bit. But I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through some of these notes and see if I can implement some of that. Or maybe not. I don't know. A lot of this is a little bit more advanced. So I think I'm going to focus on advancing the timeline, and then after that, then we'll figure it out. I do also want to do something with the deities, which we'll get to here in a bit. No worries there. Plenty of time to play. Boom, bang, and rang. Swiping around, don't mind me. Yeah. Praetorian with Ren. In and out a bit, fair enough. I appreciate you tuning in either way. Got phone open with the stream, so hopefully I don't have to alt-tab every 5 seconds to see what chat is doing. Hopefully, anyway. Fingers crossed. Okay. What do I want to do first? Whew. I could start building Hawk City, because I haven't actually done that yet. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. We'll add it anyway. Do Hawk City. And then since we're here, go ahead and add Eagle City, since that's also another one. So those are there. Still gotta organize this. I really should have done some housekeeping. But also I am quite lazy. So yeah, I think we'll focus on advancing the timeline and then maybe flesh out Hawk a little bit. And then maybe play a little bit with the Pantheon once again. Because I have an idea for the Pantheon, and I do want to kind of follow it as best I can. So what I'm thinking with the Pantheon... Hey, what's up, Neo? Thanks for stopping by. Actually, you are the person that I would want to talk to you about this. I have an idea for the Pantheon. And actually, now that I think about it, it would be pretty obvious. I wanted there to be like a god that pretty well represents every class to some degree. So like we're already kind of on the way with that. Like Merlin's a wizard, Monica's a druid, Neil is a bard. East would probably be a paladin. Brex is a little questionable, maybe warlock. I don't know about that one. Jack, clearly a rogue. This one, Mr. Fluffles. Maybe that one's the warlock. I don't know. Mr. Fluffles is just straight up insane. And Blood God's like a barbarian sort of deal. I have ideas. I have many ideas. And now is the time to put those ideas down. So, I'm going to take a moment to read through what I have for this so far so I don't forget anything. And so I don't go completely off the frickin' rails. So consider the following a recap. I'll even read it out loud, just to make sure it's not terribly boring. So, the history of New Earth, or whatever the hell we're calling it. Year 2050, impact. The asteroid, known later as the Ark, seemingly comes out of nowhere in the night sky above the Marianas Trench, slams into the Earth. Massive bursts of vaporized water and soil blasted in the atmosphere resulted in a swift climate change and nearly a new ice age. Upon impact, latent magical power inside the Ark detonated and started infecting the entire planet. Within 1 year, everyone and everything was soaked in magic. Creatures, plants, even the planet itself began to mutate with this excess of new energy. Mr. Fluffles is a demon hunter. Actually a blood hunter. Lycanthropy blood hunter. Clearly. Maybe a ghost hunter. I don't know. Aren't cats like anti-ghost in some cultures? Anyway. Year 2052. First magic cast recorded. Woman in Canada. Monica Ladeau. Successfully accelerated the growth of a maple tree to match that of a redwood in only a few minutes. Further experimentation revealed that she could do this on a whim, though overtaxing the ability results in exhaustion, i.e. magic. This is later referenced as the first recorded druid. Year 2055, the first neo-human birth and elf is recorded in Moscow, Russia. Hours later, the first orc is born in New York City. The reports begin coming in from all over in the following months. Races thought purely fantasy are being born from normal people, average humans. The entirety of the biologist community began researching what else is happening to the human genome. Year 2056, arcane magic discovered when a researcher accidentally blew a hole in the wall of their facility. Casters of various types and specialties quickly established through various methods. First monster sighting. A hunter in Texas brings back the remains of a wolf the size of a horse with fangs from 3 more to prove his story. Dire beasts began showing up everywhere within the year. Stranger sightings follow. Monica Ledoux begins recruitment for the Circle of the Sanctum. Year 2059. Work on the first Sanctum Grove is completed. Circle recruits number in the hundreds and begins spreading across the globe to create more. These groves become the eyes in the storm of magic and mayhem that is slowly encompassing the globe. I think maybe an Egyptian thing. Cats keeping spirits of the dead away. Don't quote me. That does sound familiar, though. I definitely feel like I have heard something similar, and it does seem like an Egyptian kind of thing, because they did revere cats quite a bit. Year 2061, scientists confirm the existence of vampires, werewolves, zombies, many variants of goblinoid and feral orcs that just spawn from mutated fungus, and a slew of other nasty creatures. An initiative to leave the planet begins. Year 2066, the first dragon sighting above Sydney, Australia. Soon stories of larger monsters began cropping up. Krakens and massive purple worms, and even the fabled Tarask. A cabal of mages takes over the initiative to get off the surface and renames it the Skyhome Project. Plans for a Magitech city known as Hawk are distributed for further replication. Members of this cabal began vying for political power and rallying support from the common people. Year 2080, government-controlled Sanctum Groves. Wait a minute. Yeah, I bypassed this one entirely. Dumbass moment. Year 2068, Skyhome Project leaders take over control of the Sanctum Groves and set up operations from within. Circle Druids are angered by this hostile takeover. Political support for the Saviors of Humanity reaches a head, and the Reclamation Alliance is formed with project leaders and surviving government officials. Now the mages run everything. Oh dear. That's going to end well. Government-controlled Sanctum Groves are barely holding against a laundry list of threats, ranging from feral goblinoid bands to packs of demonic beasts to targeted strikes of aberrations. Hawk City is completed and launched, finally able to carry some of the people from Earth into the relative safety of the sky. Work immediately begins on more floating cities. After a daring raid to secure a launch facility, a volunteer team of cosmonauts managed to break atmosphere and then land on the moon. They begin work on a lunar colony that, once proven safe from the ravages of the Earth, becomes the focus of every surviving holdout. 2084, Hawk City begins work on mobile launch facilities and massive storage bays to assist in the colonization of Luna. Special Task Force is assigned to Hawk as retrieval specialists and escorts to expedite supply transfer. This task force later moves to Luna and is renamed the Lunar Wolves. Now, so they built the city from Bioshock Infinite to get away from the Krakens and Tarasks. Genius. I mean, yeah, if you look at it, a lot of the big bad threats that are inherently malicious in D&D, a good number of them are on the ground. There's not too many of them that are airborne, which does kind of make sense, at least to some extent. The ones that are like airborne and absolutely devastating, those usually tend to be extremely rare. But then again, it's not like you could find a Tarask or a purple worm around every corner. So, having airborne cities is kind of my idea of, well, it minimizes the problem as much as possible. Because, like, what are the other options? We dig underground. Okay, now we have everything that can dig, which does still include purple worms and Tarasks. That might be a problem. Have a surface outpost. Well, now we have to deal with literally everything from every single conceivable direction. Skyhome Project. Only have to deal with things that can fly, which significantly reduces that list. So I could also just be kind of a moron, but going with what I know here. So we've got the lunar base going. But I'm thinking that's going to take upwards of a decade to get squared away. So now let's do 20... Hawk City was launched in 2080, so let's do 2090 on the dot. Why not? But imagine the city would be built to protect against dragons in the lake. Yeah, that's a little bit of technobabble that I'm going to explain in. Like, the method of propulsion is also kind of the shield that sort of more or less protects the city. Kind of picturing Ishgard only built on a sea of clouds. Basically, I mean, it's not dissimilar from what I'm going for. You definitely dig it. A little bit more modern. Are the dragons feral or intelligent or a little of both? Something just fell downstairs. I have a feeling it has to do with my dog. Crap. The ballistas, high spires, and stuff to prevent dragons from landing. The dragons are vast majority... I'm going to say that dragons are extremely rare. Like, probably more rare than in normal D&D. But all of them are intelligent. And the vast majority of them are not, in fact, hostile. Little spoiler, the way I'm treating, like, dragons here is people don't necessarily want to talk to the, 50-foot tall, absolute monstrous, fire-breathing thing that for some reason is extremely posh and talks in an English accent and would love to have tea with you. I don't think people are going to want to dive on that. Okay, I gotta go check what just happened downstairs because I just heard a noise and it has me a little worried. I will be right back, like 5 minutes, probably less than 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. It wasn't even my dog that did anything. It was... We have this wooden gate to where we try and keep her relegated to the kitchen because there's tile in there. And we have this gate that's a little jacked up. And it has two rotating feet and 2 feet that are just kind of there. So... problem, the way we have it set up, the 2 feet that are stationary face the same direction, and then the rotating feet are pretty easy to move, so when she's just moving around the cage, occasionally it gets bumped and they straighten out. So what happened were the 2 rotating feet were faced like parallel to the gate itself, so it wasn't supporting anything, and the other 2 feet were both facing the same direction, so it just fell over. She's fine though, all's well there. Probably just spooked to shit, but eh. Alright, let's see if we can catch up here. So you're using Coffee Gremlin Luna as the thumbnail. Take an axe. Take an axe? What? Why are you giving me an axe? I'm concerned. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the art is by CG Law, who is an absolute badass. I mentioned how much I love the art of Luna. Because I really love the art of Luna. Kind of like the idea of dragons being feral when young and growing into intelligence as they age. Like a really slow process, like over 100 years, or sub-100 years for basically animals, but it's like age 6 for a human. It does make a bit of sense, yeah. I do want to adjust something, now that I think about it. First dragon sighting above Sydney, Australia. I'm just going to add a little note here. Later identified as Merlin. The first dragon. I'm not terribly against that idea. But, I mean, that it's exactly the same as how, like, everything works, honestly. It's like, even people are like that. Everybody's feral in the early days. Whenever there's a noise in the house when you're alone, you always take a weapon. Axes are the best to use. I disagree, actually. Axes are hard to swing around in enclosed spaces. A dagger or a sword are much, much better. And also, I do have both formal martial arts training and CQC training. So, I mean, me having a sword and me just throwing hands are pretty equal in the danger spectrum, my dude. Okay, so where was I? Right. Year 2090. By the way, I didn't really mention it, but this is like the absolute shotgun of notes. And I'm just going to have this here. This is going to be my second window for the duration of the time that I'm doing this. This will just be here. You know, just in case. In case we see something like, oh, yeah, that'll work in here pretty good. You know. Actually, there might be a thing to do here. Just an ogre, so weapons are fine for a weapon. Come on now. Alrighty. Looking for a particular spot. Yeah, let's put it here. Almost the same time. There we go. Just throw in that black market bet, because I do like the idea of black markets being a thing fairly early. Whoever said that last time? CQC, I didn't know you were big one. CQC just stands for close quarters combat. It's a military's way of saying fuck shit up at close distance. Yeah, listen to Jacques. You don't want a clumsy axe catching on every stall in the market you're stalking through. Exactly. Hey, talk mess about the weaves, man. Daggers are extremely effective weapons. Otherwise, why have they been around for literally the entirety of human history? We still carry them today. Our soldiers still have something that is basically a dagger today. It's called a combat knife. That's basically all it is. It's just a modified dagger. It's good stuff, man. Being able to stab someone at any distance is nice. Close range, that's usually when you want the least amount of stuff getting between you and the stab as possible. Therefore, short, sharp weapon. Okay. So we have our black market timing. Let's say... Ooh, I have an idea here. Let's see what you guys think about this. So I'm actually going to add another one. Year 2081. Mission officials. How do I want to word this? In a program, give out pardons to black marketeers in exchange for donations of materials to assist with the Skyhome project. There we go. So now we have a little bit of fun. Then you have scenes like the one in Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, that scene actually fucked me up a little bit. Is that I'm not gonna bring up exactly what happens, but first of all, that is a horrible way to go. Second of all, there's ways out of that. I get, like, just glancing at it, even when I was a kid, when I first saw it, it was going through my mind, like, dude, you're letting that happen. You can get out of that situation. But yeah, that's probably just me being extremely fighty coming into that. So take that with a grain of salt. Okay, what are we looking at here? So we've got some official black marketeer inclusion into the Skyhome project. Ooh, here's an idea. We need a name for a miracle material. Something like arsite, but more for making gear. I am going to call it Mirasite. See what I did there? Miracle material, Mirasite. A huge gold rush esque get done ensues. Just gonna add this in here. I can move this around later. So Mirasite functions similar. That is not how you spell functions. To titanium. That maintains some form of magical property. Whoop. Iron. And I have Revisite. Think of a dumb name and a site or something. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I just did. I was way ahead of you on that one. Alright. So yeah, Mirasite, in my world at least, Mirasite is just straight up enchanted metal that can be worked. It's kind of like a metallic version of arsite in Final Fantasy. And I just saw that Neo is up to some shenanigans. Does anyone know what Neo is up to? Was it the crash in the train? It was an asteroid, like a big fuck off asteroid. So, the distinction there is essentially... Okay, Capernaum? No, we ain't going with that. But basically, an asteroid is an asteroid as long as it's outside of an atmosphere. It becomes a meteor or a meteorite once it enters an atmosphere. So technically it was a meteor. But I mean, it's big-ass asteroid. Similar in scale to what killed the dinosaurs. I'm legitimately curious, by the way. I want to see what Neo is up to. Okay, homies. Bruh. Neo, why you gotta wait so long to play some Final Fantasy, bruv? An asteroid then? Asteroid sounds like something I've heard of before. Also do kind of like the name Mirrorsight because it ties in that whole quote-unquote miracle material ideal. And I do want that to kind of be a stereotype. It is this right here, the whole idea of Mirrorsight is purely a mechanical boon for my players, so I don't have to give them specific gear. So like imagine when you have an adventurer team or an expedition. The team drops to the surface, does an operation, and then sometime during that op, they come across a chunk of Mirrorsight that can be used by, let's say, a high-level crafter. So they bring it back, they go to the fabrication sector of one of the cities, and they have something made for them. And depending on how big the piece is, you can say that it makes armor or a weapon or ammunition or something like that. So the name, I do want to be a little bit of a cliche. I want this to be as transparent as humanly possible. So there's that. Right. I got so distracted. We are now talking about the Lunar Colony. No, we are not. We are now talking about... Okay, yeah, so exactly 1 decade after Hawk City. Which one's next? Is Falcon the new kid on the block, or is it Eagle? Space Rock. Hey, what's up, Logan? Glad you can make it, homie. I hope I'm not at a weird time for you. I know the last one kind of missed you completely. I was trying to be a little bit more reasonable with this one. Or maybe unreasonable, depending on where you are in the world. Can't please everyone, bruv. Fantasy. Moonstone, Stardust. Is that not 10 p.m.? Alright, cool. Nailed it! Fair enough. I don't particularly dislike Moonstone or Stardust, but this is material that it's gonna act somewhat like Arsite. So it just sort of, it's like either material that was there or that sort of grew in after the asteroid hit. So it's not just inherently part of the asteroid, but it's more of like magical energy making weird things happen, and this just sort of happening as a result. Just throwing out names at this point, thought exercise, good idea. I mean, it's definitely helping. Solarian, not the worst idea, but I don't think it really fits. I don't know. I think I accidentally attached myself to the name before it even came on stream. 'Cause I've been thinking about it for a little bit. Oh, god damn it. My clock is wrong again, and it's screwing up things, but it's okay. It's okay, it's totally fine, we're all good. Okay, so yeah, we'll hang out with Mirrorsight there. And this is like the only thing that I have done since then. Terahedron, that is a good one. I might hang on to that for something later, though. That reminds me of those things, the things from Magic the Gathering in like the Eldrazi lands. Whatever the hell that world was called. It's just freaking triangles everywhere. Every time I hear the term hedron, it always brings me back there. But yeah, it's basically operators can find chunks of material that varies in elemental affinity and quality. Chunks can be used to fabricate custom weapons and ammo as well as armor with proper facilities and expertise. So it's kind of like my it's my token system, I guess. You bring back enough material, you can get a weapon or an armor made. So it's like the asteroid contained something that reacted with present materials and created a magically infused material. Yeah, basically. Pretty much. I'm still kind of bouncing around with this idea, the one where the Ark didn't necessarily carry all of the magic from outer space, but more of carried a good bit of it, like a pretty sizable chunk, but then broke something on the planet that was sealed, and that's what released it. I'm not sure about that one, though. I'm still kicking that idea around. And we don't necessarily need, like, the full history of everything before we start the campaign. Plotocite! Unobtainium. Alright, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, let me try and focus here. So let's do you know what, let's say Falcon's Neck. Tokenite, bruv. Do the crystals have any negative side effects? It's not going to be crystals. It's going to be more of like a metallic ore of some kind. But some of them will have negative side effects, yes. It's like I said, it's basically going to function a lot like arsite. So there are bits of it that are charged in certain ways. So like a fire charged weapon, say, would probably do fire damage. But then there's also something along the lines of, like, if you make an armor out of it in the wrong way, or if you make a weapon the wrong way, then it's gonna, like, exude that magic in the wrong spot. So say if you make a sword out of fire aspected mirrosite, then if you do it wrong, there's a good chance that when you hit something, the handle is gonna detonate in a fireball. If you did it wrong. So that's why it needs like high expertise stuff, so it can be shaped properly and the magic inside directed properly to be used as a weapon. Imagine if this released a material that reacted in the planet. There might be areas kind of like in FF14 that are just steeped with the stuff or even covered in huge crystalline structures. That is definitely on the list of stuff. But as soon as I came up with this idea, I was like, what if we had a place that was basically like one of those ant hives that was tin casted? If you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take some time and Google it. And no, it's not animal cruelty. Fuck those ants. I live in Texas. Fire ants can burn! I'm okay. Hey, what's up, Merwin? How you doing? We're just world building and being nerds, as usual. Just sip of coffee here. So I'm gonna say, Gun City is completed and launched. Access materials still needed are donated by the mayor to complete the Lunar Colony. More Dona, but chromed instead of crystalline. Pretty much. About the same amount of colorful, too. Yes, thanks. Self to... There we go. Actually, it was never named in the first place. There we go. It's a large chunk of world building. It's okay. There is so much to do here, man. Like, there is such an unreasonable amount of stuff that we still have to do. You have not missed much. A cool place for it might be the Badlands in Arizona or Colorado. Arizona was kind of on my list because I was stationed in Arizona while I was in the army. That place is fucking awful. At least when the temperatures are horrible. Death Valley is a decent choice. There are some really wide open places in Texas. Could also throw it in Missouri, because there's a lot of hill country out there. That would be pretty spicy. I'm gonna have to do a lot more research on that to see like really high concentration areas. This actually, if we're gonna do that, it's going to be very much a lot of these high concentration areas are going to be underwater. Because think about it, if the asteroid hit at the Marianas Trench, then it's going to be pretty ingrained into the sea floor. And I imagine that magic is going to seep out into nearby active volcanoes, or maybe cause a little tectonic plate shenanigans, which is also going to help me reshape the face of the planet later. So my idea there is there's going to be like some underwater volcanoes that just spit this stuff out, and that's going to form these really cool, almost statue structures. Just be Hollywood and turn New York into Chrome to Mordona. Well, that's an idea. That has not crossed my mind yet. Wolves. That's on both Hawk and Falcon to ensure security. No, that makes more sense. It landed in the trench and spread from there. New York is a shoreside city and would have gotten where it could have gotten hung up. Actually, I need to double check something. I need to see exactly where the Marianas Trench is. So give me 1 second. Show me. Oh shit, yeah, it's oh, never mind. I thought that was in the Atlantic. That was a very, very incorrect look there. It is actually almost across the globe from New York. In places like Boston, Miami, etc. It would actually be the West Coast that would hit it, or that would get it. So the Marianas Trench is above Australia and like south and east of Japan. No, it's in the Pacific. So it is very much way the hell away from America. So yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense now that I've already put it in there. The fact that the first dragon sighting was over Sydney, Australia, makes a whole lot more sense now that now that I know the Marianas Trench is that close to Australia. So that's good. That makes me happy. Excellent. Somebody posted something or something. Oh, never mind. Yeah, saying they're live. Tokyo then? Tokyo could be a hotspot, yeah. Just add a little petty shenanigans in here. So Hawk and Falcon are automatically going to be not friendly. year 2092. Falcons landing completed and let's say at a skeletal level, let's begin to Luna as work crews to help build the habitat they will live in. There we go. Cold War kind of deal? Yeah, more or less. The way I'm looking at it is Hawk was doing a lot of work to help build up the lunar base. But then when Falcon was completed, they had a bunch of excess materials. And it was more advanced stuff, but they had the excess materials, and they could have used it just to integrate it into their facilities. But the mayor decided to send it all to Luna to expedite that process, and you know, just a sort of like, hey, here's my good deed for the century kind of deal. And those supplies were just so needed that the Lunar Colony renamed itself to Falcon's Landing and thanks. And it's not necessarily that they did more work, it's just that the work that they did was significantly more important. Or just well timed. And it was a sacrifice on their part rather than just, you know, stuff as normal. I just wanted to add like a little bit of petty shenanigans for, like, say if I get a player who's from Falcon and another one who's from Hawk, there could be a little bit of jab in there. I think that would be pretty cool. Go, my computer is not happy. So I haven't really been keeping track of population. Tensions rise. All right. There we go. Okay, I had a little bit of that in there. And now $64, let's say. Nah, not crypto. That sounds a little much. And all purposes of fighting off the magical infestation. That's not how you spell that. What's the material name again? It is Mirrorsight. Let's say let's say 1/8 population plus 2 attacks on internal conflicts. I thought about a school of magic used to manipulate it directly, like Robomancers weave their magics with great effort to construct things like the Druidic Undersea City. Marianas? It's a decent idea, but that sounds a little bit too specialized, because in theory at least, you could use just like a move earth spell, and it would work similarly. Yeah, it's just spelled like miracle. So, I mean, I'm not thinking that it should be inherently unstable, but maybe an element of that. Either way, though, if you just like pick it up and hit somebody with it, it'll be the same if you use a move earth spell or just your hands. Like, it's not the worst of idea, but I think it's a little bit too specialized to actually have, like, I don't know, a whole school dedicated to it. I think it would be more of like a scientific pursuit than a school of magic. Or maybe like a crafting thing. It has that it's highly charged material that would be hard to manipulate with simple move or a spell. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He's shaping though, not just throwing it around like telekinesis. Right. I'm not going to completely shelve that idea. I'll put it in notes, but that one's going to take a lot of finesse to pull off properly. So, say the shaping of the site through magical means. There we go. Not to Final Fantasy. We build magic to scope gold into things like idols, statues, trees. Oh yeah, the right. I think that would be more of a crafting thing, but we'll like the idea's down, so we'll have it. Alright, so at 2066 we have lost 1/4 of the usual population of Earth. Needed to call numbers a little bit. Be more of a small scale thing to make magic trinkets for various use. Not a bad idea. But I mean, at that point, I'm looking at it from a human point of view. And I know I've been reading a lot of HFY lately, but hear me out. If you could shape a magical material that is used in everything from like vehicles to weapons to armors to probably very obvious that this is going to be used as a piece of the floating cities. I would imagine that they're not going to stop at trinkets. This is 100% going to be industrialized as soon as humanly possible. I think the old adage with sculpture that a sculpture merely chips away the stone and uncovers a statue inside rather than creating it itself. It's not the worst of ideas. But at this point, I think the society being incredibly survivalistic. And maybe this is something that pops up later. Actually, that would make sense. Having it be instead of like a scientific pursuit, maybe specifically an art form. That could be a thing. Add that little note in there. Alright. Let's keep going. So if Falcon's Landing is completed at a skill level, colonists begin immigrating to Luna as work crews. Help the habitats they will live in. Hawk and Falcon cities. Now that I think about it, I don't have a launch facility at Falcon. You know what? I think because Falcon is more like modernized and Magitech focused, I'm gonna say that instead of Falcon being the one that was made, I'm gonna say that this one was Eagle. So Moon's Landing, blah blah blah. Okay, so instead of Hawk and Falcon having an issue, Falcon's going to be the new kid on the block, and Eagle is going to be the one that they don't like. Does make sense. Thank you. I had an idea. If you decide to go with the abandoned city approach, how would you feel about the players attempting to rebuild it as a pseudo base of operations? It would be a lot of work, though. The cities are like genuinely going to be unreasonably huge. So having, I don't know, 4 to 8 people controlling that would be a little on the ridiculous side. Maybe like if they get just the core going, or maybe a piece of the core, maybe. But like it would have to be busted to absolute crap. I mean, like destroyed almost completely beyond any chance of repair for the other cities not to agglomerate on it. Because the way that I'm running this is there are going to be anywhere between 6 to 12 of these floating cities on Earth total. Like that, maybe not a whole city, like a building. Or it could be just like a really beefy airship of some kind. Some kind of vehicle. It's like if we it would not be out of the realm of possibility to have some kind of mobile home-esque structure that you could drive around essentially. And maybe deploy it onto the ground. Maybe it folds out into like a base by itself or something. Like all the facilities are packed up and you have to land in order to use them. It wouldn't be too big. Something like I would say honestly just something outpost size, maybe with a deployable wall. Something like a portable outpost. Throw that on the notes too. There we go. Throw that in there. I like that idea, though. I feel like a team base might be something more like the ship from X-Men. Maybe. I'm not too big on the idea of giving the party a completely autonomous like a completely autonomous thing that they live in and work from that can move real fast. Something you can land in places but is self-sustained in the sky. Yeah, that's a little bit much. I don't want my players to feel too safe, you know? So I want them to have to deploy it onto the ground because the ground is inherently one of the most unsafe places known to man. But if they have the right materials, then they can deploy there for a time, do their work, and then pop out. I'm trying to keep a certain pace to it, but also I do want to establish that the ground outside of a sanctuary is just not safe. Not available until a bit deep in the campaign. Like how you usually get an airship to fly around with in most FF games. Like I said, I like the idea, but that's a little bit too much mobility. And besides, the way this, or the first campaign anyway, the way that's going to work is they're going to be most likely deploying from and around Falcon City. They're not going to be going surface side every time, or even often. The vast majority of this is happening inside of Falcon. Now, obviously, you're going to have this world for a while, probably. It's shaping up to be my life's work, actually, with regards to D&D, but for now, not necessarily have to worry about all that. Definitely a cool idea to have for groundside missions, though. So we just kind of cut off here and I got distracted. Imagining the ground being a bit like how most of the world is in Ruby, teeming with violent murderous beasts. Exactly! That wasn't my original inspiration for it, but that is a really good comparison. So yeah, the surface is horrible. Outside of the groves. The groves are like the only thing that make the surface livable at all. It's like a freaking 40k death world. So let's see. Eagle's Landing is completed at skill level. Colonists began immigrating to Luna as work crews to help build the habitats they live in, both Hawk and Eagle cities. Hubs of travel, both for task force supplies and those to get off of Earth. Alrighty. Now we're looking pretty okay. $20.95. Huh. Um. First plans for a working O'Neill are based on your site structure reinforcements. There you go. I like the mobile outpost idea a lot better than mine, actually. Well, thank you. Maybe we can incorporate it into a quest where you have to defend a grove from an assault until reinforcements arrive. Oh yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Like base survival games, which is why I made a suggestion. Oh no, having especially if ever I do like a campaign that focuses around the groves later on, that can definitely be a thing. I don't know if it will be here, but like we can definitely have some shenanigans where it's used as a defensive structure. That is a good plan. Let's throw in here tower defense mode. Lol. Maximum shenanigans. Alright, now here is where the boom is going to happen. Year 2100. First working O'Neill cylinder. Completed completed. Action shifts from stations. For the here's an idea. Yeah, let's call these boys RTF for now. Yeah, interesting song, TechnoAxe. Not bad. Okay, where is it? National officers are going to program to get beneficial program, blah, 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 blah. Alright, let's clean this up a little bit. go. TF. Compliment of both Hawk and Falcon to ensure security. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had a tangent there. I wanted to follow it. I imagine these Druid Groves are kind of all over in different environments. Yeah, it's just like wherever a group of Druids had an affinity for, they popped one up. And if it maintained, then hell yeah. There are going to be abandoned groves out there that just didn't make it. That is going to be a thing. Which one under the sea, but I imagine a wind one on top of a mountain, fire near a volcano, earth by a fault line, etc. Kind of like the Ashari and CR. That's not a bad idea. I mean, in general, because just based on the fact that it is a Druid Grove, now that you mention it does kind of go without saying that whatever it's built next to or around, it is going to mold to that environment to some pretty significant extent. But in my headphones, they were plugged in but not plugged in, so they didn't actually charge until my other pair is charging, and these are running low already. Oh god, I'm sorry. That's horrible. Alright. So, at this point, need construction units in with some cylinder stations. Then year 21. Let's see 2103. ECU production, both creation and use. That's a little weird. Realized. Abandoned Grove sounds really interesting, and it sounds like a place where more powerful creatures would lurk. Oh, most certainly. What program are you using for this? This program is called Scrivener. It is a, it's actually similar to Foundry, which is the program that I'm going to use to run the games, in that it is a one-time purchase. I don't know if it's a cloud or not, but this is sort of a, it's kind of like a world, well, no, not really world building. I discovered Scrivener because I believe it was Jenna Moresi, who's an author and a YouTuber, really recommended it. And it is a like $50 you pay once and you have it forever. And essentially, I'm using the trial right now just to see if I like it. But basically, it's like OneNote, but you don't have to pay a subscription. And frankly, I think this is a little bit better, but I haven't actually used OneNote, so take that with a grain of salt. It's essentially just an organization document that's more or less tailor-made for writers and world builders, etc. Or just business stuff in general. I haven't really been working with it all that much, now that I think about it. But I mean, it's working fine. How you spell it? It's actually right up here. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, if I actually try to spell that, it'll be awful. So there. That right there is how you spell it. And it's got a 30-day trial that I'm using right now. I got like 22 days left on it. And I'm going to run that shit out before I actually buy it because money is tight, bruh. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see. VCU production, both creation and use, escalates as utility is fully realized. O'Neill stations can be completed within a year with adequate supplies, and humanity begins moving into orbit above Earth. Here's stream into there we go. Seven. The majority of humanity is either been lost to the surface or lives above it in either the O'Neill cinders or the two floating cities. Kind of going brain dead, gonna be honest. Spell Scriveners. It's a V. V? No problem. What, I guess two V's? Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but I think it's also kind of supposed to be like scribe-ish or scribe or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were going for, but the program's nice. Obviously, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm definitely not sponsored by these guys, but hey, I calls it as I sees it, and at the moment, I sees it as useful and somewhat user-friendly. I haven't really ran into an issue where I'm like, God damn it, work for me, you son of a bitch. Nah, it's been pretty chill so far. Actually, you know what? No, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this yet. Machine floating cities. Sorry if I'm not reading. I'm trying to actually focus. Sometimes my brain works very well when it comes to world building. Other times I gotta like really strangle myself into dialing in. Let's say year 2109. Experimental. That's why having us here is great, to help throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Yep, there you go. And I just want to like throw this out there for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this. Because I understand, I fully understand. This is not the most interesting thing in the world to watch me type stuff for hours. But it means a lot. It means a lot that you guys are helping get in on this. And like usually I'll throw together a world and not really put nearly this much effort into it. And then it's just kind of like, I'm bored now. No, with y'all helping me, this is interesting. I want to see how this turns out, man. Okay, that's not really right. Let's divert a little bit. I need to figure out how the Lagrange stations get there, because I do need to be there early. Because the Lagrange stations are going to be, like, not necessarily the center of political power, but a mecca of political power, if that makes sense. So, like, a nice little hub of various peoples. Actually, I do need to look something up real quick. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, a Lagrange point is basically a point in space where gravity is more or less neutral. Let me actually get the proper definition. Okay, so it's a point. There are points near two large orbiting bodies, like say Earth and Luna, where the gravitational force exerted by both is equal, at least to some extent. And it's essentially a space parking spot, because you can put something there and it can stay there forever with very minimal, if I can remember how to brain, extremely minimal station keeping. So let's take a look here. So there are 5 Lagrange points around Earth and Luna. Hold on, let me catch up with chat here. I actually feel pretty engaged during these streams, and I think that I feel more creative than usual. I'm feeling the same. Phil Deeve? Thanks, Mervin. I have a fight coming up with a one-armed man. The fuck? Like in Star Trek Enterprise, there was a room on the ship where all the gravity plates kind of converged, and it created a gravity dead zone. It's the same general theory, yeah. And I know Star Trek is kind of infamous for using a combination of like real-world science and technobabble. But that's actually one of the things that it does make sense. If I remember correctly, one of the crew used to go to sleep in the 0G. I mean, fair. That's fine as long as they're pretty active during the day, because if they do that for an extended period of time, they are going to atrophy most of their muscles. It's relaxing as hell, I have absolutely no doubt, but that's probably bad for one's health. But okay, so there are 5 Lagrange points between or around the Earth and the Moon. There's one that is directly between the two, which is very close to the Moon. So that would probably be an existing temporary base. Lagrange Point 2 is actually beyond that. So it's further past the Moon. That would be not on the dark side, but it would be on... it would be like across the Moon from the Earth. Then there's one on either side, kind of at a triangular sort of approximation. So like if you're looking directly at the Moon, it looks kind of like right about at 150 degrees or so. On left and right, you have Lagrange points 4 and 5, and then directly across from Earth, from the Moon, so like on the opposite side of the Earth from the Moon, there's Lagrange point 3. So there are 5 of these things, and I would imagine that these are... Yeah, that makes sense. I'm digging this. I think those are Lagrange points. Maybe good spots to have the resupply stuff happen when the floating cities run supplies to Luna. Yeah, now that I'm actually looking at it, Lagrange point 1, because it's directly between Earth and Luna, that is a perfect resupply point and like a staging point. That is really, really good. Really good to have. So I'm actually going to pop up here. A temporary depot station is created at range 1. There we go. Okay, so yeah, having that the one-armed man fight is Raban. Oh, that makes so much more sense. I don't know why that took me so long to catch on, but fair enough. Okay, so we'll have a temporary supply station at Lagrange 1 during the transition to Luna. And I'm going to... Trials of fully automated void construction units begin with the refurbishing of the Lagrange 1 station. Boom. Okay. Now I have some momentum. Oh no, All-Star started playing in my Spotify playlist. I can feel compelled to draw Shrek. Do it. Do it. Do it. Maybe the other 4 points can be used solely to gather supplies, and then point 1 is the unloading spot. It kind of makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't. Like it takes a lot of energy to get out of the atmosphere. So it doesn't necessarily make sense to stop at any point. Unless you're going just like straight to your objective. Because it's not like these points are close by. They are at the orbit of Luna and Earth. Like, aside from Lagrange points 1 and 2, which is the one like between Earth and the Moon and across the Moon from the Earth, every other one of those points is more or less on the orbital plane, or on the ring, the orbital ring. That doesn't make sense either. Along the orbital path. There we go. Of the Moon. So it's unless there was some strange gravitational shenanigans that I'm not accounting for, it would make more sense just to go straight to L1 and then from there to Luna after some kind of processing. Honestly, it would probably make more sense just to go straight to Luna, but having this sort of in-between where I'm assuming you can have more efficient deployment devices would make a lot of sense. Sorry, I am a massive physics nerd and I am huge about space, so I've done a lot of thought on this already. I used to love writing sci-fi, by the way. I mean, actually, I still do. Okay, back to work. So we have a refurbished Lagrange 1. Nice between yeah. So under the assumption that the floating cities were in a type of orbit. Oh, sorry. No, the floating cities are very much still in atmosphere. So Hawk and Eagle are still in atmosphere. Like you could just step outside of those and drop off the side and go like hang gliding or some shit, which is that's actually going to be an extreme sport. Not exactly that, but something close. Whoop. Which Lagrange point should be the capital? Because L2 is going to remain like a resupply station / trade hub. So I'm thinking, do we want it to be really far away from the moon or really close? That is the question. Idea. If I'm doing anything, by the way, that is just absolutely makes no dadgum sense, then by all means. How's it we're both working on completely separate sci-fi genre things, and yet a lot of what I'm hearing is stuff I planned for the comic? Honestly, the whole idea of floating cities core, I did get that from the one thing that you shared. Just like this sort of feeling of sitting on the edge of a city that's floating a mile or two above the ground. And just at some point, looking over the side, seeing what's going on, you see a dragon down there, and oh hey, I want to go fuck with that. Jump off, slap on a jetpack, and just full speed. Mock Jesus at that motherfucker and see what happens. That's the kind of feel that I got when I saw your thing about it. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of wanted to replicate that just a little bit. As they say, is it copying or replication or... Oh, whatever. Replication is one of the purest forms of compliment. Yeah, no, that one picture where you had the dude sitting on the edge and just sort of relaxing on the rail with the freaking drop off into fucking open air on the right side. I think it was the right side. It was one of the sides. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Lagrange 1 could be larger than others and could serve multiple purposes due to its close proximity to Luna. Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking L1 is still going to be like a trade and supply hub. Maybe just a trade hub or a giant market or something. Like, that's where all that real good stuff is found, you know? That would make sense. Especially considering that eventually there's going to be a lot of movement between Luna, Earth, and Mars. So that's a really good neutral spot. I do like that. How does one brain? There we go. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. This is right, yeah. Fun fact that Rowling is actually on this skyship and it's through the Lexus spot. Nice. It's weird that I remember that so vividly. But I mean, it just like, it's stuck in my head. Do the floating cities have massive cannons or railguns that can shoot down dragons? Still working on that part. Special cushion permanently on this spot. Dope, let it inspire. Yeah, thank you. Funnily enough, it's usually fan art that gives me the best inspiration, or like art from non-mainstream sources. Dude, DeviantArt is one of my favorite places to look if I just like, I want to write a short story. I wonder what looks cool here. Freaking 3 clicks into DeviantArt and I just have about 17 ideas. People who don't draw art for a living, like for a big company, oh my god. I wish I could draw that well. Or at all, honestly. Which is why I was so tickled when I got the, or when I see any of your art of my characters. Talking about a defensive structure for the floating cities during the previous Worldbuilding stream, but I don't think there was a clear decision. Yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence about that because I'm still sussing out the actual, like the science behind how the cities float. What I'm thinking is some kind of semi-reactive force field that maintains a bubble around the city. And to some extent, that bubble is controllable from the generator that produces it. That way you can fly in and out of it, but something, I'm not sure what, something happens when you just hit it without any kind of interaction otherwise, which makes them very tough. I'm still sussing out the details for that. Just because they have the freedom of not catering to anyone. Fuck yeah, man. I'll drink to that, bro. Ah, there we go. Nice little slurp. That's a good shit, boy. Okay, so we have a reason for the Lagrange city or the Lagrange stations to be built. L2 past from Earth. L2 needs to be something special because it's right next to the moon, and the moon is kind of like the military center of the reclamation. So I need to figure that out. Oh, here's an idea. So this will be our mirror site research facility, or our main one. And then, so we have L3, L1, and L2. And I'm going to put this in notes, just so I don't forget. One trade and wire transfer. Actually, you know what? We'll just call it trade hub. Trade hug. No, trade hub. L2. Site and advanced materials research facility. L3. Come on now. Ground. Functioning human Senate. I am the Senate. Okay, so we need to figure out... No, not 0. We need to figure out what L4 and L5 are doing. Just a hub for people to go and get some free hugs. Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume there would be a certain district of a particular light color that might be in a reddish spectrum that would be up there. I'm not going to specifically say that because, you know, eventually I want this to be on YouTube. Oh, hey, it is on YouTube. Oh my god, imagine that. But yeah, I don't want to go particularly that deep, but I assume you can get hugs and potentially more there. You know, once it's fully completed and industrialized. Alright, so 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are on either side. So they're on Luna's orbit, kind of in the direction of Luna, but like almost at 3 and 9. 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So we gotta figure out what those are for. I suppose we can leave them blank for now. Alright. Now what are we up to now? So, Sanctum Groves are going on Earth's surface, and those are very much isolationists at this point. We've got the O'Neill facilities that house the vast majority of humanity, and those are pretty much self-sustainable at this point. It'd be hilarious if it was the whole Puff situation over again. No idea what that means. I'm very disconnected from things that are happening, man. Sorry. Well, let's see. Okay, so we got the Druid Groves, we got the O'Neill cylinders, the 2 floating cities. The Lagrange stations are under construction, and Luna has been colonized and then turned into a huge military base. So now I think we have to figure out how and why people are coming back to Earth. Maybe one point can just be completely dedicated to weapon R&D. Yeah, that's L2. Or not L2, L3. Yeah, L2. So L2 is the point just past the moon. Get the reference, bruh. Alright. So yeah, that one's basically like, not necessarily weapon R&D, but weapon R&D falls into it for like mirror site and advanced materials research. But it's near the moon, which is a military base. So yeah, that's functionally weapons R&D. I got you covered. Don't you worry. So next up, let's say... Oh, good lord, someone's calling me that I don't know that person and I don't care about him. Fuck off. I've been getting calls from not the same number, but the same place for a while now, and it's starting to piss me off a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. Now then, what are we doing? Brain go dead. Year 21. 2113. The first is people are coming back to Earth because there's a new type of material being created due to the impact. I assume that would be Mirasite. I don't think I want to do like multiple materials or multiple new materials. At least not right away. Definitely not this early. Not a bad idea though. That 3 is listed in. Da-da-da. There we go. Here's our emotional bit. It's a Dragon Quest thing, basically a running joke where it's the misconstrued by the player characters as a sexy thing when it turns out to be something absurdly fluffy or soft like a slime. Press against the player character's face like a fresh pair of his bruh. It's been used in the DQ crossover quest for Of course it is. God damn it. I'm on my glasses. Be gone from me. There we go. Okay. Think got a better idea than what I just said. Maybe researchers are trying to get more live specimens to research from Earth. You find better ways to combat them and survive in the new environment. That's actually what I was getting at here, funnily enough. So, humanity unanimously votes that we need to retake Earth. Reflame? No. Alright, so this is going to be how Falcon comes in. Year... say 2120. Actually, no. I want to do something else. 2115. So now we have a tragedy. And this is a... By the way, if you guys are paying attention whatsoever and actually looking for these, you will notice that I reference a certain group of Minecraft YouTubers quite a bit. So this is another reference to a fanfic, actually, of a certain group. So, orbital deployable city named Peregrine is completed in record time and dropped towards Earth. The entirety of humanity watches in absolute horror as it cracks in the atmosphere and fails to sustain an acceptable angle. Peregrine and all 50,000 crew are lost in the impact. Where did this happen is the question. That being the tricky part. Oh boy. I don't know why, but I'm vibing to that. Okay, we've got our Lagrange thing. So I'm on Google right now. Pardon me 1 second. What am I doing? Map. Map of the Earth. Okay, so where do we want this ill-fated city to land? I'm thinking Antarctica. Wait, a what YouTuber? Minecraft. I reference so many Minecrafters, man. Like an unreasonable amount. So I got a message from a friend there. Wishing him happy birthday. Don't mind me. God, if I can remember how to use my damn brain. So, in actually, wait a minute. Antarctica is north. The Arctic is south, right? No, Antarctica is south, and that's the one with an actual landmass. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. I about confused the shit out of myself there, I'm going to be honest. There we go. You probably do the same, but likely not the same ones given how many exist. I mean, valid. But I mean, like, okay, to be fair, I am referencing probably the most recognizable. Okay, dog's about to start barking. Alright guys, I'm going to take a very swift break whilst my dog calms the hell down. Be back in like 5, maybe 10 minutes. Sorry about this. Hey Riku! Okay, apparently it just decided to mute and then not mute. Well, hey Riku, hope you're having a good... Alright, and we return. Hopefully you guys can hear me. OBS is still acting a little bit strange, but that's fine. Hop right back over to Scrivener document. Catch up with Chan. Take your time. Thank you very much, I did. The dog says hi, my dad even says hi. Had to make sure that you didn't need me for anything. All is well. Remember, Arctic means bear and Antarctic means no bear. I feel like that's just the designation of if there are bears there, not the word. I wonder what the actual word means. Don't care enough to look. Watch a lot of Hermitcraft? Awesome. I don't. Welcome back. Thank you. I got me some fresh coffee. And we are good to go. I just realized you guys can probably hear that stirring really loudly. Sorry. Alright, so. You perfectly fine. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are enjoying the new mic, by the way. Because I haven't used this one too much. It's mainly in streams. But so far the reception seems pretty solid. This is a HyperX Solo, I think? Yes, a HyperX Solocast mic I'm using. Which is really nice, actually. My buddy Fizbo, who streams Smite over on Twitch, Fizbo Baggins, met that homie in Crowfall, and at some point he just got so frustrated with one of his that wasn't working, so he just bought this one. He was like, oh yeah, it just plugs right in. It's good to go. No software, no BS. Now it's just fine. I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good, because my Corsairs were giving me trouble, so I tried it. And then I figured out what was wrong with my Corsairs and proceeded to not touch this thing for about 3 weeks. Big mistake. Okay, so. Last thing we did was Peregrine. Completed record time, dropped, cracked in the atmosphere, and fails to sustain acceptable angle. Peregrine and all 50,000 crew are lost in the impact somewhere in Antarctica. Alright. So now we continue. Year 2120. Exactly 100 years from now. Well, not exactly, but close enough. Approach is taken with the next city. There's well, how do you spell collaborative then? Oh, it's 2 A's. Or 2 L's. In the L1 hub, Hawk and Eagle. And with the here's Tech and Magitech. Is Size production act as a fast point for operating on Earth. There we go. then 21, 22. Sorry guys, I just went deep into the lore there. His brain is going, ooh. So let's double check here. Okay, so this is a big thing. It eventually needs to be the first to utilize soul cores to store sentience. But we can fix that. Yeah, not gonna go. That was a bit uncreative, I admit. Did chat die on me? No, it did not. Okay, I'm just insane. That's fine. Now we need a bit of a time jump.
At the coffee.
Ah, that's the good stuff right there. Oh yeah, that's the nice. That's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Let's do 21, 28. Okay, so Falcon is constructed and begins a sort of robotics revolution or robotics renaissance. This is where things start to modernize quite a bit. As far as I'm concerned, we're still using quote unquote old technology. Up until this point, aside from the Magitech integration, everything is still more or less modern day. So this is where I want to see technology start to boom. But I need there not to be just massive swarms of floating cities over Earth. And since the timeline is supposed to reach like another 700 years, I don't know about that. Could have put a war here. Like, could put some kind of conflict between something, but I haven't really differentiated a lot of political entities yet. I'm trying to do that now. So, like, the Lagrange stations are more or less neutral ground. The O'Neill cylinders, I think those should be sovereign as well. And then the Sky Homes floating around Earth are sovereign. And Luna's doing its own thing. Okay. We have things now. We have things. I feel like my phone is having a bit of a stroke.
Excuse me.
No, never mind. We're fine. Totally fine. Righty then. So, year 2128. Let's just go ahead and jump to 2130. So those three were named after birds. What are the next three going to be named after, guys? So we have Falcon, Hawk, Eagle, and Peregrine that failed. What are the next three? What are the next three Sky Home cities? Somebody throw some names at me. I want y'all to get in on this. I would like them to be themed, but at this point, it is an absolute crapshoot. Anything goes. So come on, hit me with something good. Also known as I am completely and utterly brain dead at the moment, so you guys help me do my job for me. Damn. My elbow has been bothering me all day and I don't know why. Name them after constellations, I guess, but that would be a little... I don't know. I don't want to name them after... I don't want to name them after any like celestial bodies within the system, because those are eventually going to be colonized. At least started to be. Different species of large cats. Aquila? Aquila's a good one. Kiwi. Okay, Kiwi's a little mean. Actually, I like the idea of naming them large cats. Or maybe just like memorable land predators in general. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. So we could have the next wave would be like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a third one because I have two already. Emu, ostrich, pelican. Flightless birds for iron, bruh. Harpy's decent. I think I'm going to stick to real world stuff rather than the mythical, because the Skyhome cities are meant to be bastions against what Earth has become, and if there's harpies flying around and you're fighting them, I don't think naming your city Harpy would be a good idea, you know? Squabs. Vulture. Okay, so how about capybara? That's disturbing. How about we kind of go with the big cats idea, but we make it predator specific. So let's have bear, lion, and wolf. How does that sound, guys? How does bear, lion, and wolf sound? Condor is a good one too, though. Capybara. Isn't capybara like a freaking turbo beaver or something like that? I don't know. I probably just pissed off a lot of people who know what a capybara is. It's called a Castoroides. It is literally the Testament bridge builder and crack beaver. Puma's a good one. Lion, tiger, bear, oh my. Ocelot, okay. Along the lines of predators, yeah. No, I like the idea of it being, actually, let's take this a step further and make them specifically pack hunters. Capybara is a huge rodent. Okay, yeah. Capybara is the giant rodent that fights predators by crushing it against the sides of a cave with its ass, right? That's the one. Or is that a different one? I think that might be a different one. Okay, so... Actually, you know what? No, let's not do specifically pack hunters. Yeah, let's do... Okay, I got kind of an idea. Let's do tiger, bear... Mole rat? Okay. My bad. Do not know. That's a wombat. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, so... Tiger, bear... I am going completely brain dead trying to think of a... I'm trying to think now specifically of like solo predators. So tiger, bear. I'm specifically looking for solitary predators, and I am not finding any because I am uncreative. Like, I would go with Puma or Ocelot or something like that. But at the same time... Ooh, Cobra. Cobra's a good one. It's very much out of... Honey Badger. You know what? Screw it. We'll name one Honey Badger. We'll say someone had a... had a blast of humor. So cities, bear, tiger, and honey badger. Created and launched with their own location drones. Less self-sustaining and developing their own culture. In 1 and 2, you can name outposts after animals who are typically prey. Since they're mostly smaller structures, I think jaguar might be a good name. You really need to rethink that statement because jaguars are never prey. Jaguars, to quote another YouTuber, jaguars put alligators and crocodiles on shirts, man. They revoke their free trials on life. Spooter. Mongoose, crocodile, dingo. People with dingo are cannibals. Okay, that's fucked up. Saw a serpent, like serpent oronka. Cool idea. You can use the other name of the honey badger, Rattel. That is a good idea, actually. I'm digging it. Let me make sure though. Let me Google that one. I like how one of the options when I typed in honey badger was the gun. Okay, yeah, so it's a Rattel. Alright, that's good actually. Lets me joke around a bit but still keep it in. Boom. Jaguars for predator name. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough space. Okay. No, Jaguar is pretty good. I didn't want to have multiple big cats in one wave though, if it was going to have anything different. Don't worry, we'll save the big cat wave for something else. Because at this point I'm starting to think like, you know, it's a little smaller. So I'm thinking at this point, Falcon, Hawk, and Eagle are going to be like the big hub cities, like the capitals, the New York cities, the Dubais of the world. Then after this, we're getting a little bit smaller and smaller. These all could be names of transport ships and other ways too, because I imagine one would need a way to fly between these floating cities. Yes, that is another thing that I need to suss out. Alright. This expedition is launched from Falcon to recon a patch of unstable surface. Limbs of Gridanian will die. Falcon, Eagle, Hawk. Yeah, shit. You're not wrong. At least not entirely. I didn't even mean to do that. That's kind of funny. Ah, damn it. Elbow's still messing with me. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So now we have the 3. I'm gonna do year 21, 31, 2. Hub cities basically, while the others are perhaps smaller and newer. Yeah. Yeah, that's the general idea. Alright, so 21, 31 to... I want a pretty sizable jump here. So let's do 21, 31 to... Let's do 22... 20. So a good 90-year shenanigans going on here. You could also use the names of some predators as names for specialized hit squads that specialize in particular environments or something like that. Not the worst idea. I actually really like that. So I'd love to think there's a hub city built someplace that's very difficult to find, like in the caldera of a volcano, and it's the home of Black Market faction. Oh boy. Yeah, we do need to figure out where the Black Market hub is. Just throw a little bit in there so we know. Kind of like the gold saucer and how we can't physically walk there despite it being in the old area. I know, right? There's always a pirate island or something. That is very true. Very solid point. That's something I'm going to have to suss out a little bit later. Makes sense, though. As far as I'm concerned, the black market is operating like very well through all of this. So, in that 90-year block, Skyhome Cities is on improving their facilities. There we go. Dark Toe NCR. I don't know what that is. Black market called Vulture? That's a good idea. I do love that. Riku with the snipe. Right, I imagine they have branches around everywhere, but every tree has roots. Every tree has roots and one solid trunk. Okay, apparently Jacksepticeye's in this mix. Thank you, TechnoX, for that. I actually like the name Vulture for a Black Market Hub. Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm gonna add that in. Hell yeah. This is why we have a notes tab, guys. It's a badge of honor to have served as... Okay, we need a cool name. We need, like, an absolutely badass, cool as shit name to call the people who drop to Earth and do the exploring. Rogue class will be associated with a local branch of said organization, even loosely, to which they may owe ties or some such. To affect their story. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so we need a badass name for adventurers in this setting. So I'm talking something like Helldivers or Helljumpers, or it's honestly I really like both of those. My brain just kind of stopped, but you know what I mean. We need, I don't know, we need something badass like Han Solo and Jabba. Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. We're still in the very macro side of world building, though. That's getting into the micro, which I'm not opposed to, but I figured that would go without saying, man. Daredevils? Not a bad idea, but a little generic. We'll have that one on the wall, just in case. So Daredevils doesn't quite epitomize what I'm looking for. So what else? What else? Like, calling them just generally reclaimers would be cool, but that's kind of already taken by Halo. And damn it, now I'm stuck on reclaimers. Also call them like renovators or mechanics or fixers or something like that. Darkstalkers, that one's pretty cool. A little bit on the edgy side. You know what? We're gonna have a list here. So Daredevils, Darkstalkers, fixers. Yeah. Not the worst idea. I always associate fixers with cyberpunk, but can use that. Condor units are kin to mine since we're using animals. And we'll have different units for like different task forces, but like just a general name like adventurer, but not adventurers. Earth Riders is pretty cool. Yeah, that was a little bit strange. I'm going to throw Reclaimers in there just to have it. Spelunkers. I feel like it's more cave related, but hey, we'll throw it down. Damn. I'm actually really liking Earth Riders, but I don't know if it's right, if that makes sense. Here, let me restart the mix. Okay, dog. Jesus. Sorry about the dog, guys. More than one person is home, so naturally she's going to be more active. I just wish she wouldn't bark like that. So let me go through what we have so far. So, Daredevils. I don't necessarily dislike it, but I don't think it really encompasses what we're looking for here. Desperados, He actually spelled Desperado. Okay, so apparently. Dirt divers. Alright, hold on. I feel like Undaunted is just like it's a better version of the Dauntless. Blue, I swear to God. I feel like a lot of these can be colloquial names for them. Oh yeah, these could definitely be like a list of titles that people call them as like nicknames. But I need one that's official. Alright, so let Hunters. God damn it. I think I'm using Hunters somewhere, actually. Thought I was. Okay, I might have to go deal with the dog here in a second. Which is really annoying because we just walked her. There you go, outline. I'm pretty sure I've used the term hunters before. Because I am partial to it. I do really like it. Oh, come on. No, can't find it. Well, I guess I haven't then. Waste divers, waste striders. That would be really accurate, except it's Earth isn't necessarily a wasteland. It's a chaos, like just absolute goddamn chaos. So we'll throw hunters in there. And the general environment of Earth. The settings, so it's just generally something. Okay, fair enough. It's basically like if you've ever played Ark Survival Evolved and gotten into the lore at all, there's this sort of understanding that every Ark has. I'm gonna slap that dog. Every environment has way too quick of a transition. Like you could go from snowy mountains to murky swamps to straight up desert, and it could be less than 2 miles. Chaos Crew. Calamity Walker sounds pretty good. Actually, wait. What about... Seekers, not bad. Trying to think of something with chaos in the name now, because that sounds pretty bomb. Like, not Chaos Crew, because that's a little bit too much of a direct rep, but the brain is working. So Minecraft rules. I mean, basically, yeah. It's just like, what would happen if the environment was affected by magic that is absolutely out of control? Sorry if you guys can hear that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, I'm gonna think on this for a second. Sorry, guys. I gotta go deal with the dog, otherwise she's not gonna shut up. I will be back. And I'm back. Oh wow, you guys had a lot. Chaos control. Sorry about that, by the way. If I don't, like, at this point she's barking because she's bored, and it's really starting to bother me. How about, actually, hold on. How about we combine a couple of them? Let's say Chaos Divers, just to spitball. How's that sound? Like maybe. Pandora's Wayfinders. That one ain't bad. Actually, wait a minute. Why not? How about? Let's simplify this, because I think we're getting a little bit too on the edge here. How about something simple like Trailblazers or Pathfinders or Wayfinders? Like no extra bits, just the basics. Journeyman's not a bad idea. I think exactly represents what we're going for. I'm going to look. Yeah, it's more specifically like a workman type thing. Chaos Rangers. No, I'm kind of digging Pathfinders, actually. Not to discount everything that y'all just threw at me, because there was a lot of good stuff, but I'm thinking either Pathfinders or Trailblazers. Both of those sound pretty good. Oh, we could go with Trailblazers, and then you could you could shorthand them to just Blazers or Blazes or something like that. Give them a little fire motif. I think that would be pretty cool. Brisk Squad is literally finding paths for others to follow. Yep. I think these could be colloquialisms. They could very well. That's actually a good idea. Dirt Diver could be more of a slight. Spelt that hella wrong. Let's finish this up first. Badge of Honor 2. Served as a finder. Okay, so now it's a badge of honor kind of thing, at least for most people, at least in this day and age. Never mind, we still got a few hundred years before current time, so say Dirt Diver, negative connotation. That's a good insult. I like that. Because people would see them in different ways, either venerate them for their bravery or denounce them for pitching their lives at a lost cause. Yep, I agree completely. So let's take a couple of things here. Actually, let's do negative and neutral. So Dirt Diver Scavenger. Fear them for their skill. You would avoid them on the street if they're well known. I don't want it to be quite that far. Like, so they almost fade into the background when they're not active anymore. But if you're an active Pathfinder, then people start having opinions about you. So maybe not like venerated to that extent. I don't want them to be like Guardians in Destiny, like larger than life kind of things. I want these to be more or less normal people. Like everyone can be a Pathfinder if they want to. But it does take a certain kind of crazy to be a good or survive as a Pathfinder for a long time. But I could show up to the city, visit a bar, and someone could ask, "So you're dirt divers with a..." Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely going to be a thing. Positive. Say how about Earth Rangers for the positive one. Gold Digger. Yeah, I'll throw that in. Because, I mean, scavenging is kind of one of their duties. Scavenging old tech or other stuff, like info. Lost Lore. Taking on a new, different meaning to the New Age. Yep. Let's see. Trailblazers? Yeah, we'll throw that one in there. I think we can relax on that one for the moment. School cities focus on improving facilities. Falcon leads the charge as an academy city for adventurers of all types, while Hawk and Eagle work to catch up and renovate old tech. Bear, Tiger, and Rattel cities act as go-between points for exploratory and scientific expeditions. It becomes a badge of honor. Okay. Numerous surface outposts are created and subsequently fall with varying success that none remain permanent. Let's fuel a fortunate ones, might be kind of neutral then. Deathseeker, alright, okay. It's a little on the edge there, bud. I imagine that the descendants of the Pathfinders may have a different name if they choose to follow their parents' footsteps. Plan suicide. Not always. Like it's not inherently a death sentence to go to the surface of the earth. It's just it's such a coin flip. Like say out of 10 missions to the surface, the way I imagine it is we'll say like 2 of them go absolutely to shit and there's a good chance that you're losing somebody if not the whole team. That's 2 out of 10 though. The other 8, I mean, 4 of those you're going to see some form of contact, but it's not going to be too bad. You'll be able to handle it. Or you get away in time because you saw it coming and it's just such a large threat that you're not even going to try. And the other 4 are just completely dead. And honestly, it could be 9 out of 10 that nothing huge happens on. So not necessarily that dangerous, but I like where you're going with that. All right.
guess is the right word. Many people might regard it in a way, the way that we see ice road truckers and crab fishermen. Yeah, that's the idea. It takes a certain amount of bravery, stupidity, and skill to get into dirt diving. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Need more of that to get back home? Like, you can do it. You can dip your toe in and do it a little bit and get out of it just fine, and that's a fairly common occurrence. It's like, you don't die in your first mission out, more often than not. It's just those few missions that go absolutely sideways that people are terrified of. Walking collateral. All right, that's a little on the nose. I assume that would be the more murder hobo-y of the Pathfinders. And actually, Pathfinder is kind of an accurate term even hundreds of years later, because the way I'm imagining Earth is it is constantly changing because of the sheer amount of magical bullshit going on. And I even said it in one of these. I think it was Sector 9. No. Here we go. Sector 7, Combat Training Facility. Motherfucker. That dog is supposed to piss me off. Alright, if that keeps up, I'm gonna be honest, I might have to end the stream soon. Because that's gonna get to me. What was I talking about? Right. So Falcon is set up with basically modular artificial terrain pods that can be changed fairly easily, because there are known biomes that have been there for a while, and then there are some that just kind of pop up and disappear, fade back into the background almost constantly. Like, the way I'm seeing the cities work, they're on like a constant circuit around the Earth. And whenever they visit a path that they've come through before, there's a good chance that it will look completely different. Can you imagine some extremists that view Earth as a lost cause can purposely sabotage any attempts at reclaiming Earth? And they could even attempt to tamper with the groves. Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking Mars is going to be. It's like two very Cold War Druid factions. The old souls that stay on Gaia, and then the new ones that go to Mars. Progressive Druids. Did you ever think you'd see the day? Kind of imagine it's a bit like those other adventuring groups you see early in FF. Some have success, others have deaths and end up quitting, some get wiped out entirely. Yep. I delve into the darkest places of Edoras on numerous occasions and always come out alive. Yup. It takes special stupid to do things right. Okay, back to the timeline. There we go. Let's make this as pompous as humanly possible, why don't we? So the people that want to get away from Earth call themselves the Free. Title to represent. They are free of their cradle world. There we go. Also imagine there are competing teams of Pathfinders or legal ones that might show up to cause trouble. Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be Pathfinders that are black market specific. Or that are particularly operatives of Vulture. Those are definitely going to be outlaws. Those are probably going to be the ones that are called desperados. So now that we have our suitably pompous anti-Earth faction, let's do 22, 25. I've been listening, but I have to go to bed. Take care and have a good day. Thanks, homie, for stopping by. Thanks for all your input. Really, really nice. I'm having a lot of fun with these. Y'all make them fun. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, homie. Have a good sleep. Okay, so the free lunch mission to colonize Mars, led by druids who claim to have been wronged by their itself. So basically self-proclaimed outcasts. How am I spelling terraforming wrong? Is it just one? Nope, that word just doesn't exist here. Be giving valuable input if it wasn't focusing on drawing panels for the comic. Nah, that's fine. Max chillin', homie. If I can be good background noise for you to do your own work, then hell yeah. The fact that you're sitting in chat and giving me an extra number to laugh at the YouTube algorithm with, I'm digging. I am already happy. So there's supposed to be a first breath. Alright, so it was a fairy, but we don't have a name for it yet. So head druid. Fairy named... Let's do something simple. Let's call her Laura. Here we go. If you want to add extra drama, you can make the head druid of the free faction a relative of Monica. That is an interesting idea. Why not? Let's say let's add an extra layer to that. Fair-named who claims to be Monica's granddaughter. There we go. I do like drama in my world building. Not in my life. I hate drama in my life, but I do love drama in world building because that's where conflict and fun comes from. Alrighty. For anyone who didn't catch it, this is essentially the Mormon expedition from the Expanse actually gets off the ground. Man, I rag on Mormons too much, but they're so easy to target. No offense to anyone who's Mormon, but you guys are just kind of funny sometimes. Alright, so let's do 2250. First deity is discovered when Merlin begins. Come on now. Truly reshaping Mount Everest to a huge library. Bruh. Dog is barking because she's bored and it's pissing me off. Alright. So this is where Merlin comes in. Dragon casually begins reshaping Mount Everest into a huge library. Yeah, I figured I spelled that wrong. Really? Alright. There we go. Okay, had to get that out. So we have our first deity now. Quick review on what's been done so far. So we have trying to find where I started. Okay, so Eagle was completed and launched, and the mayor of Eagle helps out with the Lunar Colony. Lunar Colony's finished. Skyhome project is put on hold to help the colonization of Luna. Then the O'Neill cylinders are made the focus. First working completed, blah blah. Lunar Wolves renamed from the RTF. Void construction unit production begins. Humanity starts to move off of Earth. The Lagrange stations are formed as a political dead zone. First vote hosted. It becomes a directive to reclaim Earth. Peregrine is created and then lost over the Antarctic. All 50,000 crew. Falcon begins construction. And officially launched. Immediately begins upgrading itself. A little less than a decade later, Bear, Tiger, and Reteller completed. First wave become more or less self-sustaining. After that, shenanigans begin with the Pathfinders. The Free are formed, and then they launch to Mars. So now we have a completely separate faction on top of these somewhat fractured factions on Earth Actual. And now we have the first deity discovery with Merlin. Add a little caveat here. Instance of other gods is that Mecca has attained something resembling godhood. And shares rumors of a unstoppable warrior wandering the surface. And the mysterious figure. There we go. Okay, so now we have established shenanigans for other gods. I wonder, are these flying cities mobile? Like, could they move position to avoid some kind of catastrophe, or are they stuck in place? No, the cities are very much mobile. They are in a constant circuit around the planet in order to facilitate an easier time finding supplies or materials or doing their recon. So, and the circuit can change on occasion. The idea being that they want as much coverage as possible for both research and exploration. So yeah, the cities are mobile. They're not very fast, but they are mobile. They're getting closer though. The starting point or the starting year for this campaign, I kind of want to be somewhere in the realm of like 2700 or 2800. So we still got a ways, but I mean we're eating up the years pretty quickly. And then with the Sky Home cities, let's go and do this now. Whoop. There we go. Alright, so now we can number them, and now we need, I think it was Bear City. We'll give that one second wave 1. And then, it was Bear, Tiger, and, let me make sure, because otherwise I'm going to forget so easily. Bear, Tiger, and Rattel. Okay, I'm not insane. That's good. Tiger City. Second wave 2. And then Rattel City. Second wave 3. Alright. A lot of work done today. The timeline is fleshing out quite nicely, guys. I got a crap load of notes here to go off of, too. I do need to figure out where the black market thing is, but I don't think that's going to go specifically into the timeline. And take a look. I don't know how long I've been streaming, but it's been a while. Oh, hey, Rin finally got his jacket. Nice. Chicken soup. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I think I am good for tonight. That was a lot of progress, at least with the timeline. Which is good, because this gives us, we're getting closer and closer to being done with the timeline. Once we're done with the timeline, we can start focusing on the individual cities. We can start focusing on the Lagrange stations, the O'Neill cylinders around the place, Mars, Luna. Oh god, I have a lot of work to do still. And I'm not even talking about the Sanctuary Groves or anything like that. You know what, let's start adding folders. So, Sanctum Groves. Do Luna. The black market just operates out of a floating city that they created themselves but remains undiscovered due to cloaking tech. Definitely an idea there. Crap, what was I going to put here? Actually, let me see. Looking tech. Throw that in there. Add it as an option. Then now, stations. Okay, I think that's basically everything for the moment. Just organizing. Oh man. Oh boy, we covered a lot of ground today. Ooh-wee. Ooh, even better. Actually, I was going to say that Brixarian was on Mars, but not yet. Don't want to reveal that quite yet. Mars isn't exactly an industrial megapole. I thought that because of the black market, probably doesn't want to be found unless they want you to find them. Yeah, no, that's valid. And it could totally be privately owned. Definitely be like an entire criminal syndicate playing with it, but hey, whatever. Well, guys, my brain is sufficiently scrambled, and we got so much done today. Thank you, everyone, for contributing. Holy crap, this is a lot of fun. Yeah, friggin' good stuff. Very good stuff. Ugh. Go ahead and just transfer this over here. Hang out for a hot second. Take a moment to breathe. I'll sip my coffee. Hydration check, by the way. Black Market should be run by an Anther house cat named Mittens. Uses holographic technology to appear as a kingpin sort of character. Why don't we just make it Mr. Fluffles that runs the black market? I mean, we've gone full manic at this point. Why the hell not? Oh god, someone's going to remember that for the next session. Damn it. Glad you're able to help. Yeah, I'm glad you decided to show up. This is a lot more fun with other people to spitball ideas and just kind of enjoy. Because like world building is a lot of fun, but holy crap, there's a lot of input. Or there's a lot of output. There's a lot of everything going on here. So much brain power. Yeah, thanks guys for stopping by. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for all of the input and the help. Really do appreciate it, and definitely more to come. And eventually, I am definitely going to be streaming whatever game comes of this on the channel once I get all of that sorted. Still a long ways off that, but we'll get there. Yeah, for the moment, thanks much, guys. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Now we'll see y'all next round.